Here is a map of the area, and I came in on this road here, South Millage Avenue. I turned off of the loop that comes around Athens and went south on South Millage Avenue. And then this was the entrance where I took a picture. You come down. If you take that first right, which is down here that I showed you, this goes to a lower parking lot down in here, which gets filled up rather quickly. There's not as much parking down there. Here is where I parked in this first one here. There are 3 different parking areas. Then you can walk to this little walkway and you come into the visitor center area here. They have all kinds of trails. Usually I take the one right here off of one and I do the loop that goes all the way down to the river, the Middle Oconee River. See there? And it's a beautiful view of the river. I go all the way around the white trail, way out here and back around again, and comes right back to the parking lot where I started. This is Marcovian, showing how nature declares the glory of God. We're going to start following this little brook. For a ways. Every now and then another little tributary flows into this little creek now. And it slowly gets a little bigger. And it will eventually, as we get to the river, it will flow into the middle Oconee River. And before it gets there, at one point it opens up into this little marsh area. I'll show you that when we get there. This is beautiful. I love the way the rocks are. One thing nice about the trails here at the State Botanical Gardens, they have multiple trails. Like here, we're on the outer loop, but you can take this other trail to cut back up towards the Botanical Garden area. Little shortcuts they have every now and then. If you get tired of hiking, you can always take a shortcut and get back to the garden area. In fact, I mentioned the marsh area, and we're starting to get close to it now. It's going to open up in front of us further. This area is the start of it, but then there's a clearing further up. See the water flowing there. Very slow moving stream at that point. And we're starting to see the marsh. And you can see further out people sitting out there. There's a bench area out there. I'm not going to go out there and disturb them, but we'll walk by them. And just a view of the marsh. There we go, you can get a good view of water flowing into the marsh here from another source. They call it a natural wetland. This is also a shortcut again. We're getting close to the river, the middle Oconee River. But one thing nice about the State Botanical Gardens is they're free. Don't have to pay for parking or any entrance fee. You can just come on in and enjoy it. And every now and then they'll have benches here to sit on and just enjoy a view. This is the beautiful middle Oconee River. It's quiet. And there have been a couple of times where I've seen we're near UGA. And there have been times I've been down here where I've seen a number of college students, and I've seen them hang up between these two branches right here, a hammock. And they'd just be sitting in there reading a book. And I've seen them doing it on other areas, like there's some beautiful rocks way over in there that you can walk to and sit down and enjoy the side of the river. And you can just see it slowly flowing here. A beautiful river. And now as we hike, we will continue along the edge of the river. Now this is the only thing I don't like about this trail as much as others I've done, is that the foliage is not as far back from the trail, and so you get a lot more spider webs and things that you hit when you go through it if you're the first person like I am this morning through most of this. Again, here's another trail that goes up towards the garden area. But we're sticking on the main outer rim. I did this hike with my sons not long ago. They took me out on my birthday. That was a lot of fun. Down to the left is the river again. Wouldn't be easy to navigate that with a boat. Maybe a canoe could figure out it. Yeah, I can get around it on the right. I'm going to take a second and check my legs, see if I see anything, ticks or anything, because I was brushing up a bunch of that grass that was nearby. Looks good. More Chinese privets through here. Tons of them. Some of them have been here for long. You can see how thick they are. Yeah, this is probably the oldest one I've seen right here. How thick and big this trunk is. All these roots come out and more sprout up from them. You can see that one right there, how that one grows up from that root. They just sprout and spread out. It's a pretty area through here. I never really noticed this before. You see how the undergrowth is under the trees? Sun coming through. That looks like a pile of privets out there in the distance that have been cut down. you how thick this is here. How close it is. And grass flowing right in front of you here. Feeling it brushing against my legs. A nice little area here of the river. One time, an area similar to this right here, you see a little sandbar. The river was low one time when I came out here, and I noticed there was a stick sticking up in the sandbar with something hanging from it. And I went out, I took a look, and at the top of the stick, there was some keys on a keychain just hanging there. No note or anything, just keys sticking there. I'm thinking it must have been some college prank or something where somebody took their keys and maybe they told them where they were and they have to go find them. I hope they got them. That was quite a number of years ago when I saw that, maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Oh, let me show you this tree back here that I just passed. That thing is really thick. I could only put my arms maybe halfway around it. That's one big tree. And it's leaning towards the river. One of these days it'll go over like a bunch of these others. And here's more Chinese privets on the side. And back over there. Well, I'm starting to warm up. My hands are slightly chilled, but not as much. Still following the river. I'm going through a bunch of trivets here on both sides. Privets, not trivets. Soon we will branch up to the right, away from the river. I'm picking up my pace a little. I hope it's not too jumpy for you. I still need to get a gimbal, a handheld gimbal. They're not that cheap. Oh, here's an interesting Chinese privet, an old one, branching over the trail. couple more up here in front of us. Every now and then I hear a little movement off to the side. Probably a squirrel or chipmunk. I noticed something move at one point earlier when we first got to the river. Not exactly sure what it was. I'll have to go back and look at the video, see if I can figure it out. Okay, here's where the trail turns and goes back away from the river. And we're going to stay on the outer loop. Again, you could take this start of the blue trail this way if you want to take a shortcut back to the gardens area. At the moment, we're going, elevation is going up. Continue to rising. Increasing in elevation and breathing starting to pick up a little bit. Trying to keep a similar steady pace. Gets a little difficult when you're going up. So far, my hamstring is doing pretty good today. I can barely feel a strain on it, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I've been taking it easy on it. And I've seen a couple videos about the proper ways to deal with hamstrings. And the problem is the hamstring has already been stretched. You don't want to stretch it out more. What you do, you stretch out the opposite side. The hamstring is on the back of your leg. So you want to stretch out your front leg muscles. Ooh, keeps going up. You see my Fort Yargo hikes. This is a much higher elevation than a couple of hills on that. Starts off nice. This is one of the rough climbs here as you leave the river area. So whenever I can remember, I'm stretching out. In other words, I grab my foot, pull it behind me, and stretch my back a little bit so it pulls on these top front muscles. And it does two things. It helps relax the hamstring, because you're letting it loosen up by pulling the other back. And your body has a natural it sends messages whenever you're walking, like when you use your front muscle to lift your leg up, it automatically sends a message to the opposite muscle to relax. And so by stretching the top muscle, you're helping send that message to the other one. And it seems to be working. Okay, finally we're going downhill a little bit. I see somebody coming up. I'll turn the camera a little. Morning. Well, at least it's flat. I can catch my breath here. And here's a nice little bench area. And we are right here. There's the green trail that goes away up that direction. We're going to stay on this side trail here, which is this one. We're going to take the outer loop all the way around. Oh, this spot I remember many years ago. If you guys remember geocaching, I haven't checked it recently. I assume it's still a thing, but like 15 years ago, there was a geocache in this area somewhere. I remember finding it. It was the first time I ever tried it. Okay, we're going to continue on the white trail. I thank God that I'm able to walk and enjoy this beautiful creation like this. I'm thankful that my hamstrings are not bothering me much today. I'd appreciate any prayers that they... Oh, and here's the red trail, and you can take that for a shorter cut across. Please continue, or please pray that my hamstring gets better and I'm able to continue doing this, because I really enjoy it. And pray for my feet. If you have any recommendations on particular shoes that I should wear, I need a wide size. So I've noticed sometimes not all shoes come in wide. I think I need something that's between a wide and a normal, because the wide is almost too wide, and I think that's why I get a blister here and there. And I do have a high arch, so it needs to be supported. Otherwise, when my foot comes down, it spreads out each time, and that would tend for friction and to get a blister. Aren't these beautiful woods? Oh. I see someone coming up on the right. I'll be going down in a minute. Good morning. He's a jogger. Good for him. Oh, and there's another little creek down here flowing to my left. Tiny stream. And here's the red trail cutting up this way. Going uphill again. Oh, and it was by one of these streams once where I came up to it as I was walking rather quickly. All of a sudden something loud flapping and that was down in the stream. It flew up to a branch not too far away. It was an owl. It was a big one, and it was just in the stream, I guess, taking a bath. And then when I startled it by walking up to it, I didn't know it was there. It flew up to the branch real quick. Then it just looked at me for a minute. That was on my old phone years ago. I took a picture of it. Since then, I have lost that picture. Unfortunately. Still going up. A little bit of a respite here, not much though. Oh, hopefully it's going to level out a little here. Yeah. Oh, we're going to be cutting across a little field here. Talk about bright light. I've been in the shade all this time. Trying to hold my hand over the lenses. I don't know how good of a job I'm doing. Okay. Well, my hands are not cold anymore. This is a line of power lines. That's what the clearing is for. Down for just a little bit and then we're headed back up. I can see the trail to the left. Oh no, my mistake, it goes down more. That wasn't the trail, it looked like it was a minute ago. There's another little stream. In fact, I think it was part of that one that we crossed earlier. Now we're going up. Refreshing to hear the water flow by. Oh, tomorrow I have my doctor's follow-up visit concerning my blood pressure. It can't be worse, that's for sure, with all the exercise I've been doing in the last 3 months. Okay, this is the yellow trail, which if you took it, the beginning of the yellow trail, it just cuts across that little opening. If you didn't take the white trail, it's just a shortcut to cut across it. We're taking the long one. We've got some people coming up, so I'm going to turn the camera a little. Morning again. I think that's the same two ladies I saw earlier in the trail. Now we're going back up again. Nice hollowed out trunk there, that's kind of cool. What was that funny cartoon movie? I think it was called Over the Hedge or something. Something like that. These little forest animals would spend the summer collecting nuts and food, put in their little log so they could survive the winter in there. It was a funny movie. Okay, more people. I'm going to turn the camera a little. Good morning again. Again, that was the same group that I saw earlier. Okay, we are approaching the outermost part of the White Trail. The pinnacle of it. And there's a map in here, I'll show you again where we are. We've gone through the whole thing all the way out to here. That's where we are now. We're at the pinnacle now. We're going to hike back into here and back to the parking lot. Still see Chinese privets out here. Looking at everything else, not where I'm stepping. Doubly hard to do when I'm holding the camera and trying to watch where it's focusing. At one point we're going to go back across that open area where the power lines were. I like the pace I'm doing. It's a little quicker. Here's where that yellow trail picks up. If I had done that, I would have been there in just a couple minutes. Ah, finally downhill. I can coast. Oh, look at the old chimney here. Apparently, at some time, someone had a house up there. That was a long time ago. Who knows how they got there? Maybe it was a log house that they built from the trees in the area. Who knows? It would be sort of exciting to see one of these trees fall someday. I would assume it must have happened during a heavy rain. Okay, somebody's jogging past me. I'll let him go. Okay. I think the guy was a Marine. He's doing the outer loop. That's a 4-mile jog. Okay, we're getting ready to go back across that open area now at a different point. Up ahead sort of reminds me of a tunnel, or like on Lord of the Rings going into Fanghorn Forest and it swallows you up. Also, when I was here with my sons a few weeks ago, we were walking through an area, I think it was right around this point, and I didn't notice it. Apparently I wasn't looking, but one of my sons behind me said, "A snake!" I turned around and I had just missed stepping on it because I wasn't looking down. It was a little baby garden snake, only like maybe 6 to 8 inches long. Cute little thing. I remember when I was a boy, we would catch snakes all the time. At a terrarium, we'd keep one in it for a while and then let it go. Time to go back up again. Check out these steps. I remember with my sons we sort of ran up these things. If I wasn't holding a camera, I probably would have. Continuing to increase in elevation here and tripping over roots. Okay, this is where we meet up with the red trail, which would have gone the opposite direction we're going right now. We're continuing the outer loop. The red trail branches off again. I see the marine up further. He stopped. I guess this incline got to him too much. Or at least he's walking. He didn't stop. I need him to pick up his pace. Don't let an old guy catch up with you, dude. Maybe he wasn't working. Maybe he just looked like one. There we go. He's jogging again. Okay. Hopefully I'm getting close to the horizon elevation here. I forgot to turn on my map, my walk app. So no use in doing it now. But one thing nice about it is to learn the change in elevation as I go each hike and how long it takes. I'll have to remember to do that next time. At one point, they had some fence all the way around a part of the park, and this was, I think, part of it. I think the purpose of it was to try to keep deer out. But the thing is, deer can jump over a fence very easily if they wish to. So I believe they've taken most, if not all, that down. And they just accommodate the deer if the deer come in. I'm sure at some point they could have problems with the deer eating some of the vegetation in the gardens, which are beautiful. If you haven't been to State Botanical Gardens of Georgia, it's nice to come, bring a picnic lunch, just enjoy the gardens. You can walk around them for an hour or so, just enjoying, or longer, enjoying different things, learning about different things there. I will take a video on some of what's there. I'm not that knowledgeable on horticulture, but I can give you the gist of it and show you some of just the nice scenic landscaping and just pretty areas that they've done. I know they have different gardens for different things, like they have one that's a vegetable garden, one that's medicinal, and there's another one or two other types. I forget what they are. Boy, I'm glad I'm doing this in the morning. I'm sure it's going to be over 80 degrees today. I'm no longer chilled at all, though the air is still cool, which is great for hiking. Okay, this is an interesting spot. Three trails come together. The white that I'm on, there's the blue, and here's the green. So it's a three-pronged choice. When you're coming from this direction, you can go this way to the blue, the green, and the white. And you can, of course, get a map at the visitor center to know more about where you're going. This is one of the better marked trails that I've been on. Oh, we're crossing that area one more time. And way down at the bottom of the hill down there is where we saw the river. Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera to people coming. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you go straight to the right, that'll take you more to the gardens. But again, we are continuing on the white trail. We'll eventually come out right about where I parked. And if I remember up here, we're going to do another rise in elevation. Well, comparing this trail to the Fort Yargo, if I did the whole Fort Yargo hike, that's 6 miles. I haven't done yet on my vlogs here. But to do the whole outer loop on the State Botanical Gardens loop, the outer loop, is only 4 miles. But this one has a much higher change in elevation than the Fort Yargo. There's still some up and down hills there in Fort Yargo, but not as much as what you experience here at the Botanical Gardens. Okay, there's a road off to the right, and cars are driving by. You can probably hear them. That road goes down to the lower parking of the Botanical Gardens. They have a nice old chapel that I've seen people rent out for their weddings. Beautiful chapel. They have some wonderful playground areas for kids, very creative. The last year or two during COVID, they did a lot of improvements to those areas, such as the playground. When the kids come, they have a lot of fun there. Okay, I think I'm getting near the end here. Where we cut across the road and then get into the parking lot. Okay, coming up to the parking lot. And this is the end of the White Trail. See the sign here? Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the hike as much as I have. This is Marcovian signing off.